Keeping excellence in mind, where the coach can unwind. And if you parents need advice, well, don't think twice. For everything you need to know, it's the Dr. Casey Show. The Dr. Casey Show.
All right, welcome back. You're listening to the Dr. Casey Show. This is the first show of 2009. Happy New Year. I hope that you are off to a great start like I am. It's just been a fun family week, as I hope you were having as well. If you're just tuning in today, I'm talking about this new push, this new movement towards genetic testing of young children to profile them for their sport of participation. This is very real. This is happening right now. And basically the gene that they're testing is the ACTN3 gene and its ability to unlock your child's sports code. Is this real? How much credence and how much power should we give it? So the way I found out about this, I mean, I had heard whispers about this test for a little while, but when MSNBC.com called me for an interview about this a few weeks ago, and that article is going to be running in the next 2 weeks, I really started boning up on this and reading everything I could get my hands on. And it really kind of frightened me a little bit. The more I read, the more I got a little worried. And basically what they're saying you can do now is wipe your child's cheek, the inside, swab it, and leave your future, your child's future in the hands of this company. And by the way, I mean, what kind of protections do we have about how they're going to be safeguarding this information? I guess we should ask them. But after careful review of everything that I've been able to read, I've come to this conclusion that testing of the ACTN3 gene provides no significant value to parents of young children. No significant value. And what do I mean by that? There's no added value, as far as I can see, to determining what sport to expose your developing child to. It would not help me to do that as a parent. And I don't see an added value for where you should spend your training dollars to help give your child a leg up for maybe the scholarships that you're looking at and things like that. I don't see any added value there in terms of where we should be pushing children towards specific training or development. But let me explain why. I want to back this up so that this isn't just my gut opinion. This is after I've read everything. There are over 20,000 genes. And this is only one marker. This is only one gene out of the 20,000. And if you think that this is, well, maybe it only takes one, well, listen to the experts, the genetic experts, Dr. Theodore Friedman, director of UCSD and their Geno program there, or Dr. Stephen Roth, the director of the Functional Gene Lab at the University of Maryland. They were interviewed on this topic for a November 30th article in the New York Times. And in fact, they both agreed that there wasn't a significant enough determination made by this one marker to warrant making any kind of life recommendation. And in fact, Dr. Roth has identified in his work over 200 genes that have a significant impact in sports performance and development. But this test only looks at one. But I go further. There's more. It would kind of, well, let me give you an example first before I do that. It would be almost like if I were to give an IQ test, which normally takes many, many hours. But I said, we don't have that much time. And I'm just going to ask you the first question on every page in my handbook here, or my notebook. Would you really see the value in my giving you an IQ at the end of that kind of a test? No, you absolutely would not. You would question everything about it. And I would encourage you to, really think about this as a parallel example. Also, the test is being marketed and offered to kids who are 12 months old to 8 years old. Now, what value does this really add for us with this age group? I mean, let's pretend it was really accurate in making the determination for a long-term sport of participation. What kind of heads up do we really need before 8 years old? So let's think about that. I mean, specialized training, maybe, I don't know. But you know what? Then I looked up the American Academy of Pediatrics, and they actually have an entire committee on sports medicine and fitness. And I looked up their recommendation. It's right here in terms of intensive training. Children involved in sports should be encouraged to participate in a variety of different activities and develop a wide range of skills. Young athletes who specialize in just one sport may be denied the benefits of varied activity while facing additional physical, physiological, and psychological demands from intense training and competition. So basically, the American Academy of Pediatrics says specialization and training at an early age should be off limits anyway. So with all of that being put together, why would anyone be marketing a test to this age group? And I could only come up with one guess, and this is just my guess, is that with that age group, it's really their only opportunity to make some dollars off of the parents. Because honestly, by after 8, you really just, you have development that you can look at physical tests, and we'll ask Coach Rubin about this in a minute. But between the ages of 8 and 12, there's lots of physical tests that we can give. And there's actually, don't forget, my specialty, the psychological aspect of this. There are a lot of different measures for anxiety and motivation and all sorts of other factors that I can assess, and I can provide similar information just like Coach Rubin can on the field. So, but we have a hard time doing that before the age of 8, and we really shouldn't be, because again, what kind of training would we what kind of adjustments would we make? So I really think that this is a smart marketing decision for this company, but at the same time, is it smart for your family? Is it a smart decision to be told what sport your child should pursue at 2 years old or at 12 months old? And honestly, I think they're banking on the fact that, my generation right now as parents, we don't have a lot of patience. You're talking about waiting 8 years. We don't wait like 8 minutes in line for a latte. I mean, really, seriously, it's a pressure cooker also in an ultra competitive environment of sports that we get really worked up about. I mean, absolutely, we get really worked up about this. So they're banking on the fact that we won't wait, and we're going to say, oh, $149, what's the harm anyway? Well, I think there's a lot of potential for some harm. There's no guarantee of harm, but I think there's the potential. And where I'm coming from as the mother of a 5-year-old is I'm letting you know, my husband and I, we're not letting our child, we're not, she's not asking. I'm not going to be putting my child through this testing. And here's why. I don't believe that the research I've read is significant enough to warrant giving it. To date, again, I don't believe the research that I've read is significant enough to warrant it. And I believe that the power to do emotional damage by pigeonholing someone early on far outweighs any potential benefit I've read in the research. In a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation about genetic testing with Coach Rubin, checking in to the Dr. Casey Show. You are listening to AM 830 and the Dr. Casey Show. I'll be right back.